New York City, the Big Apple, a concrete jungle, they say. Sure, it's got skyscrapers and subways, but let's be real, it's a food lover's paradise. From street vendors slinging hot dogs to Michelin-starred restaurants boasting tasting menus that cost more than your rent, this city has it all. The beauty of NYC's food scene, it's a delicious melting pot of cultures and cuisines. You want authentic Sichuan? Got it. Craving some spicy Caribbean jerk chicken? No problem. Italian grandma-style pizza? Fugged about it. This city caters to every craving. You name it, New York has it, and does it better than almost anywhere else. But there's one culinary adventure that holds a special place in my heart and stomach, and that's the glorious world of soup dumplings. These little parcels of joy, known as xiaolongbao in Mandarin, are like a warm hug for your taste buds. Now, I've eaten my fair share of soup dumplings, folks. From Shanghai to San Francisco, I've slurped and savored them all. But let me tell you something. New York City gives those other places a run for their money. The competition here is fierce, and the quality is consistently outstanding. We're talking about places where the chefs treat those dumplings like precious works of art. Each pleat, each pinch, each dash of vinegar, it all matters. Whether you're a seasoned soup dumpling aficionado or a curious newbie, NYC has something for everyone. From traditional pork fillings to innovative variations with crab, shrimp, or even vegetarian options, the possibilities are endless. My love affair with soup dumplings began years ago on a trip to Shanghai. I was immediately captivated by the intricate process, the delicate flavors, and the sheer joy of eating them. It's an experience that goes beyond just a meal. It's a celebration of culinary artistry. And that's what I love about finding them in New York City. This city has a way of taking something special and making it its own, elevating it to new heights. So if you're ready to embark on a culinary adventure, loosen your belt, grab your chopsticks, and get ready to explore the best soup dumplings NYC has to offer. Our first stop takes us to the heart of Manhattan, a concrete jungle where culinary dreams are made of, and soup dumplings reign supreme. Now, I've got a soft spot for tradition, and when it comes to classic soup dumplings, Joe's Shanghai is legendary. This place has been a New York institution since 1995, drawing crowds with their juicy pork soup dumplings. Take a bite, and you'll understand why. The broth is flavorful, the meat is tender, and the dough is perfectly steamed, thin yet strong enough to hold all that goodness. Just a few blocks away in the East Village, you'll find a more modern take on the soup dumpling experience at the Bao. This hip spot boasts a sleek interior and a menu that pushes boundaries. Their signature dish? Foie gras soup dumplings. The rich, buttery foie gras melts into the savory broth, creating an explosion of flavor that will leave you wanting more. Next, we hop on the subway and head over the East River to Brooklyn, a borough known for its hipster vibes and its equally impressive food scene. And when it comes to soup dumplings, Brooklyn doesn't disappoint. Our first stop takes us off the beaten path to a little hole-in-the-wall called Lanzhou Handmade Noodle. Don't let the name fool you. This place serves up some of the best soup dumplings in the borough. Their lamb soup dumplings are a revelation. The broth is rich and aromatic, infused with traditional Chinese spices, and the lamb is tender and flavorful. But Brooklyn's soup dumpling scene is about more than just traditional flavors. For a taste of something different, head to Drunken Dumpling in the East Village. This lively spot is known for their soup dumpling creations, like the King Dumpling, a massive soup dumpling filled with an entire lobster. No soup dumpling adventure in New York City would be complete without a trip to Queens, the city's most diverse borough and a true melting pot of culinary delights. And when it comes to soup dumplings, Queens is a treasure trove of authentic flavors. Our first stop takes us to the heart of Flushing, home to one of the largest Chinese communities outside of Asia, and a haven for authentic Chinese cuisine. Here, amidst the bustling streets and neon lights, you'll find Xi'an Famous Foods, a small chain with a cult following for their spicy and flavorful dishes. While they're known for their hand-ripped noodles, their soup dumplings are not to be missed. The spicy and sour soup dumplings are a flavor bomb with a tangy broth that will awaken your taste buds and leave you craving more. But Queens' soup dumpling scene isn't limited to Flushing. Head over to Elmhurst, and you'll find another gem white bear. Their soup dumplings are all about simplicity and flavor. Now, I know what you're thinking. Stefani, you've covered Manhattan, Brooklyn, and Queens. But what about the Bronx and Staten Island? Don't worry, my friends, I haven't forgotten about them. While these boroughs may not have the same concentration of soup dumpling spots as the others, there are still some hidden gems worth seeking out. In the Bronx, make your way to Little Alley in Riverdale. This cozy spot serves up delicious Shanghai-style soup dumplings that will satisfy your cravings. And for a taste of Staten Island's burgeoning food scene, check out Dumpling Galaxy in New Dorp. Their extensive menu features a variety of soup dumplings, including some unique and creative fillings. So there you have it, folks, a whirlwind tour of New York City's best soup dumpling destinations. Now, before we dive into the nitty-gritty of making these little pockets of deliciousness, let's take a trip back in time. Soup dumplings, or xiaolongbao as they're known in Mandarin, have a rich history that dates back centuries. Legend has it that these savory parcels originated in the Jiangsu province of China, just outside of Shanghai, sometime during the late 19th century. The story goes that a clever chef wanted to create a dumpling that was extra juicy and flavorful. His solution? To encase a savory broth within the dumpling itself, creating an explosion of flavor with every bite. Fast forward to the 20th century, and with waves of Chinese immigrants arriving on American shores, these delectable dumplings also began their journey to the West. New York City, with its melting pot of cultures and insatiable appetite for delicious food, welcomed them with open arms. The first wave of soup dumpling houses popped up in Manhattan's Chinatown, bringing a taste of Shanghai to the streets of New York. These early establishments, often family-run and fiercely authentic, served as cultural hubs, places where immigrants could connect with their heritage and share their love of food with their new community. Today, you can find soup dumplings all over New York City, each offering its own unique spin on this beloved Chinese delicacy. Now, let's talk about what makes a truly exceptional soup dumpling. It's all about balance, my friends, a delicate dance of flavors and textures that come together in perfect harmony. The dough. The foundation of any great soup dumpling is the dough. It needs to be thin enough to allow the heat to penetrate and cook the filling, yet strong enough to hold the flavorful broth without breaking. The best doughs are made fresh daily, using a simple mixture of flour, water, and sometimes a touch of yeast for added fluffiness. The broth. The broth. This is where the magic truly happens. A good soup dumpling broth is a thing of beauty, rich in flavor yet light and delicate. The key is to use high-quality ingredients and to season them with a deft hand, allowing the natural flavors to shine through. But soup dumplings are more than just a tasty treat. They're a symbol of Chinese culture and tradition. The act of making and sharing soup dumplings is a communal experience, one that brings people together and strengthens bonds. In Chinese culture, food is not just sustenance, it's a way of life. Soup dumplings embody this philosophy, representing the importance of family, community, and the simple pleasure of enjoying a delicious meal together. So, the next time you find yourself face to face with a steaming basket of these little parcels of joy, take a moment to appreciate the history, the craftsmanship, and the cultural significance behind every bite. It's a reminder that food has the power to connect us, to transport us, and to create lasting memories. All right, folks, are you ready to get your hands dirty? Let's start with the OG, the one that started it all, the classic pork soup dumpling. Now, this recipe takes a bit of time and patience, but trust me, the end result is well worth the effort. First things first, the dough. We're going for thin and delicate, so grab your trusty rolling pin. You'll need flour, water, and a pinch of salt. That's it. Now, the key here is to knead that dough until it's smooth and elastic, like a baby's cheek. Next up, the star of the show, the filling. We're talking juicy ground pork, seasoned to perfection with ginger, garlic, soy sauce, and a touch of Shaoxing wine for that extra depth of flavor. And here's a little secret. Add some finely diced aspic meat jelly to the filling. As the dumplings steam, that aspic will melt into a luscious, savory broth. Now comes the fun part, assembling the dumplings. Roll out your dough into thin circles, spoon in a generous amount of filling, and then get ready to pleat like a pro. Now, for those of you who like things a little fancy, let's dive into the world of seafood soup dumplings. And what better way to elevate this classic dish than with some sweet, succulent crab meat? Get ready for a taste bud explosion. For this recipe, we're switching things up with the dough. Instead of the classic wheat flour, we're going for a delicate and translucent wrapper made from a mixture of tapioca starch and wheat starch. This will give our dumplings a slightly chewy texture and allow the vibrant color of the crab filling to shine through. Speaking of filling, we're talking about a symphony of flavors here. Fresh crab meat, finely chopped shrimp, aromatic ginger, scallions, and a splash of Shaoxing wine come together to create a filling that's both delicate and bursting with umami goodness. Once you've mastered the art of pleating, remember, practice makes perfect. It's time to steam those beauties until they're puffed up and glistening. Who says soup dumplings have to be all about the meat? Not in my kitchen. This vegetarian version is packed with so much flavor you won't even miss the meat. It's a celebration of fresh vegetables, earthy mushrooms, and aromatic herbs, all wrapped up in a delicate, steamed dough. For this recipe, we're going back to the classic wheat flour dough. But here's a fun twist. Add a tablespoon of finely chopped spinach to the dough while you're kneading. It'll give the dumplings a beautiful green hue and a subtle earthy flavor that complements the filling perfectly. Now let's talk filling. We're going for a medley of textures and flavors here. Think finely diced shiitake mushrooms, shredded cabbage, carrots, and Napa cabbage, all sautéed to perfection with ginger, garlic, and a splash of soy sauce. To add an extra layer of umami, crumble in some dried shiitake mushrooms that have been soaked in hot water and finely chopped. Once your dumplings are assembled and steamed, serve them with a side of black vinegar and chili oil for a touch of heat. Now that we have mastered how to make them, it is time to master the pro tips. Mastering the art of soup dumpling consumption. You've steamed your way to soup dumpling heaven, now it's time to eat. There's an art to tackling these juicy parcels of joy. Follow these pro tips and you'll be slurping down soup dumplings like a seasoned pro. Let them cool for a minute or two before you dig in. Carefully lift a dumpling, supporting it from the bottom. Slurp out that flavorful broth. Dip in black vinegar and ginger, then pop it in your mouth. Chew slowly, savor the flavors, and repeat. There you have it, folks. A deep dive into the heart and soul of New York City's soup dumpling scene. We've traveled from the bustling streets of Chinatown to the trendy corners of Brooklyn, uncovering hidden gems and celebrating time-honored traditions. We've explored the history, the craftsmanship, and the sheer culinary genius behind these little parcels of joy. We've gotten our hands dirty making classic pork dumplings, indulged in the delicate flavors of seafood, and discovered the vibrant world of vegetarian options. But it's more than just the food, isn't it? It's the experience. The anticipation as you wait for that steaming basket to arrive. The first delicate bite, releasing a burst of savory broth. The satisfying feeling of mastering the art of soup dumpling consumption. It's about stepping into a different world, even if just for a meal. It's about embracing the hustle and bustle of a crowded dumpling house, the aroma of spices and steam filling the air. It's about striking up conversations with strangers over shared plates, discovering new favorites, and expanding your culinary horizons. That's the beauty of food, my friends. It has the power to connect us, to transport us, to create lasting memories. And that's what New York City's soup dumpling scene is all about. It's a celebration of flavor, of culture, of the simple joy of sharing a delicious meal with friends, family, or even just yourself. So, the next time you find yourself craving a culinary adventure, don't hesitate. Hop on the subway, grab your chopsticks, and embark on a soup dumpling odyssey through the streets of New York City. Challenge yourself to try something new, to step outside your comfort zone. Order the giant king dumpling at Drunken Dumpling, brave the spicy and sour soup dumplings at Xi'an Famous Foods, or get adventurous with a vegetarian option that will surprise and delight your taste buds. Remember, there's a whole world of flavor out there waiting to be discovered, one steaming basket of soup dumplings at a time.